Hey, English 101 students, Professor Norman here with a little check-in for week 7. We're getting really close to midterm. We're getting really close to the end of this project, believe it or not, for the analysis essay. So I wanted to give some, hopefully, kind of helpful, quick reminders of things, make sure nothing's falling off your radar, as well as some encouragements, because I know that this project can be really, really heady and kind of hard to figure out sometimes, and I want everybody to be as successful as possible. So please, if you're struggling at this point, now is the perfect time to reach out. I want to go through a couple of things, but just remember, I'm going to say it a couple of times. You can always come and talk to me, through Zoom. I've got a lot of office hours as I'm recording this. I have an office hour coming up at 9:30, and then another one at 12:30, and then another one at 2 on Thursday, and then I have my typical one on Friday, and I can meet other times on Friday within reason. During the weekend, I'm not as connected, so I'm not going to be as available. But anyway, I'll just go through a couple of reminders and things like that. So first things first, as far as it relates to the analysis essay, remember, I also want you to use the information that I provide through feedback on the learning essay assignment. So if you haven't done so yet, go look at the feedback that you got for your learning essay submission, because there might be some things, even if you did really well, that I want to just see, polished up or improved a little bit more for the analysis essay. Keep in mind that even though the learning essay was a personal narrative and the analysis essay is definitely not, all of the structural things are the same. Still have to have a thesis statement, still have to have topic sentences and transitions, still need to have well-developed paragraphs. We're just putting different stuff in those elements. So things like citation format, works cited, if you got comments on that and you're like, man, I don't even really understand what he means, or I don't understand how to do this part, then that's a perfect sign that you need to reach out to me or consult the Writing Center. But I'm glad to help anybody. Here at VU is glad to help. So use that learning essay feedback to help you with that. Of course, the next step, or I guess kind of the most recent step, was the outline assignment that was due last night as I'm recording this, Wednesday night. Please make sure that you get that one in. It is critical for this assignment. It was very important for the learning essay assignment, but I've seen people do pretty well with the learning essay even if they've not done an outline. Maybe not as well as they could have, but they still do pretty well. It's pretty much impossible to do the analysis essay well if you have not done an outline first, just because you have to really lay it all out what you're going to talk about in those paragraph sections, and that gives me an opportunity to look at it and just kind of take note of any potential pitfalls or areas that need to be reconsidered potentially. I've already seen a couple of the outlines, and some people, you guys are really getting it. But if you're, to the outline stage and you're like, man, I just don't know what to do, that is a good sign that you need to contact me so that we can talk about it. So just get that done. Also, another thing that's going on, your major kind of drafting requirement for this week that you have to submit this week, I should say, is reading reflection response 2. So what I did, if you didn't see from the announcement, is I've given you an option. One of two things that you can write reading reflection response to over. One is Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail, which we've been working with a little bit over the last couple of weeks. You probably know that one pretty well, the major arguments and things they talks about, and you might have some thoughts on some things you can talk about in the response section, and if so, great. Go for it. The other thing, though, that I kind of stumbled into over the weekend was a podcast interview about rhetorical analysis, essentially. And the author that's interviewed for that talks about a lot of the same stuff that we've been talking about since analysis started. He uses the Greek terms, but he's talking about emotional appeal, logical appeal, and credibility appeal, how to convince people of stuff, how to meet your audience's needs and purpose and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a really good thing for you to probably review anyway. It's not a very long interview. It's about an hour, and if you listen to it at 1.5 speed like I do, it goes very, very fast. But you can definitely listen to that, and if you want to write your reading reflection response over that, you absolutely can, because I think that that's a really important document to consider and maybe respond to. There might be some really helpful things you can think about and respond to for that. And if it gets you kind of more engrossed into the rhetorical analysis idea, then awesome. That's really all I'm going for here. So reading reflection response 2, that's due by Sunday. Some people missed reading reflection response 1, and it's had a pretty negative effect on their grade. So don't let it happen again with reading reflection response 2. It's 25 points, and those are pretty important points. Besides that, your other task for the week is just a draft. You don't have anything that's due as far as the analysis essay goes by Sunday, but the more that you draft at the tail end of this week, the better that it'll be for next week. Okay, so just kind of get started on it. Remember, you don't have to draft by starting at the beginning. You can just draft the sections that you already know the information for. I've put a bunch of notes up on the Blackboard site with sample paragraphs and how to draft those. You know, a lot of different examples. I've got some videos that I'm going to post up there if they're not already posted up there by the time that you see this. So use all of that to great success. Some of the videos are about the content stuff, and some of it are more about the organizational pieces, like topic sentences and outline, or topic sentences and transitions. So trying to cover all my bases and help you in every way that I can through the recorded videos. But then again, you know, remember, you can contact me if you have specific questions as well. And then the final thing, I just wanted to make it known, we're going to meet for class this Tuesday as kind of like a way for me to just kind of check in with everybody. And what I would like to do is to run through an activity, a self-review activity that I typically do if we were in class, and we're going to do that instead of trying to do a peer review workshop, which I mentioned to some of you guys. I thought you guys did a great job, but it just did not quite go as smoothly as I wanted it to. So I'm going to do something a little different for the analysis essay. It's going to be kind of more led by me, which is tough to do in a virtual setting, but I'm going to do it for anybody that has a rough draft by Tuesday. Have it. I'll kind of take you through the steps of the workshop. If you don't have it, still attend, because it might be helpful. You might be able to draft or type some stuff up while I'm going through some of these things, or you can just wait and you can view the recording later and kind of go through the self-review workshop on your own. That's fine too. But that's going to be our agenda for Tuesday. Try to have that rough draft done for that. That'll make your life a lot easier. Even if it's not all the way done, try to have as much as possible. But as always, you know, it is technically optional. I'm not going to make it mandatory. I know scheduling might be a trick for some of you guys. So, you know, if you don't have the availability, if you're busy with something else, or you know, whatever, you don't have to attend. But if you do attend, I think you'll get something out of it. I think it'll be very, very valuable. Especially if this assignment is something that's just a little confusing. You know, if it's something that's just been a little bit of a struggle, which is totally normal. Don't get me wrong. It was a struggle for me when I first had to do it, but now I've done it so many times that it's become like breathing to me. So it's one of those things that the more that you do it, the more sense that it makes. We're really talking about something that's foundational to communication and being just a really persuasive person in your everyday life. And, you know, depending on what your goals are in life, being able to communicate and explain something to someone in a very clear way with facts as well as emotion is going to make you a powerhouse in whatever it is that you're trying to do. You know, you'll be a very persuasive, effective leader, or, you know, worker, or whatever it may be. So anyway, let me wrap up here just by reminding you to email me at mnorman@vinu.edu, or come by during those office hours either today or tomorrow. Of course, you can email, but remember, over the weekend, sometimes due to family commitments and other things like that, I might not be able to respond back until Monday. So just keep that in mind. Definitely feel free to email me, but if I don't get back to you, you know, until Monday morning, that's why. So appreciate your understanding and appreciate all your hard work, guys. Keep at it. Keep at it, and please let me know if there's anything I can do. Stay healthy and safe and as positive as possible. I know it's a huge crunch right now. I'm feeling it too. I think everybody is. But let's just try to keep at it and get through it together. So take care. Have a good rest of the week.